So Halloween weekend is coming upon us, and for a lot of kids, Halloween means nothing more than trick-or-treating. But we want our kids to be safe when they're out and about. So for that reason, we've invited Kurt Crum. He is a crime prevention specialist from Boise Police Department, to come and give us some ideas about, some things you can do to help your kids stay safe. So, Kurt, thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure.
So what's the big thing? I mean, let's start right off the biggest one you can think of. What's the thing you would tell parents or the kids as far as keeping them safe?
Well, the key to anything, anytime you have an event like this is especially for the parents to plan ahead. Sometimes we just kind of, oh no, it's upon us, haven't really planned ahead, haven't really thought about what we're going to do with our kids. So, one of the things we want to just remind parents is it's a very busy night. There's a lot of excitement, kids running in different directions, a lot of traffic out. So, we really need to have parents think ahead and cover the bases. Certainly the most important thing is their safety, the child's safety as they're out trick-or-treating.
Right. So,
reminding parents, try to stay in areas you're familiar with. Simply just, stay in the neighborhood you know. And another little trick, and kids, kids are going to want to eat candy on the way. So we've always suggested that parents actually give their kids candy from home prior to leaving. So the temptation is, once they're 3 blocks into it, they're going to start reaching in their bag and eating stuff, because although we haven't had problems, it's always better to be safe.
Yeah, because you're always worried about being the first parent to find that, that bad candy batch and something.
Absolutely, and we do suggest parents before their kids eat the candy, they check it. Again, we really haven't had problems, but you always want to be safe. You're talking about your kids' safety, so check that candy. So give them some ahead of time to have with them, so that if they're going to eat candy, that's the candy they're going to eat.
When you say check candy, I mean, how detailed? Are we just sort of filling to see the packages aren't open?
Right. The main thing is anything that's been opened, and obviously, people that really want to go the extra mile, who knows what they would do. But honestly, again, it's just one of those things you want to be safe. Anything that's not wrapped, anything that's homemade, any fruit, things like that, just look at it real well. Check for any kind of possible sites where people, God forbid, had inserted something into it or tampered with it. So again, we haven't had those problems, but as a parent, you really want to be safe.
I always check it anyway because I want the good chocolate for myself.
There you go.
There you go. Okay, let's talk costumes. I mean, are there some things I should? I mean, my kids are going to dress up what they want to dress up as, but is there something I should do to make sure that the costumes are safe?
Well, a couple things to think about. A lot of the masks that you buy really limit the kids' visibility. Now, again, they're amped up already. They're going to be wanting to move fast from place to place. We don't want them tripping. We don't certainly want them running out in traffic or running into something. So try to, even face paint is better than a mask, because a lot of the masks really restrict their peripheral vision. And certainly light clothes that are easily seen by traffic. And then as well, costumes that are real long, you want to be careful of, because people, put a pumpkin out with candles in them. You don't want anything that's flammable that could get, if that kid got too close, it could catch fire.
What about for the grown-ups? I mean, it's a big night, so just be careful if you're out driving.
Well, that's the other thing is, the flip side is if you're out driving, taking your kids places, or you're going somewhere, everybody needs to take a big breath that night and just slow down and say, if there's a lot of kids, they're excited, they may not, be thinking ahead, running out into traffic. So again, just slow down, especially in neighborhoods. Just take your time. I understand it's going to take you longer to get somewhere. And, just plan ahead. Again, just that night brings certain obstacles. You need to prepare for those obstacles.
Pretty much common sense, but just think it out before you go.
Absolutely.
Right? Well, Kurt, I understand that on your website you have an entire list of some Halloween safety tips and whatnot.
Well, right. If you go to boisepolice.org, on our website we have a list of different crime prevention topics that we will place on our website, some tips for parents to look at. And as well, a lot of people are not taking their kids trick-or-treating. We've seen a trend towards private parties, whether youth groups, churches, whatever they are. You're right, where they're there, they do all of that there, have other activities, which, you think about it, that's a pretty safe thing to do. They're kind of off the street, and they're not going to strangers' house asking for things. So, again, as safe as it is, it does certainly provide that next layer of safety.
Well, in just a second, we're going to talk about one of those, a thing called Boo at the Zoo that's going on at Zoo Boise. So.
Very good. Great event.
Thank you for giving some great information.
Sure.
So BoisePolice.org if you want to get those safety tips, and thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. More ETV.